Imagine me waking up to a nightmare that's not just a figment of my imagination, but a chilling reality. My days normally start like any other. The alarm clock blares its familiar tone, and I force open my heavy eyelids, already filled with the dread of the day's impending I am a woman of habit, my life dictated by the unforgiving hands of a I am weary, but I push through the fatigue, knowing that the world won't stop for my tiredness. My day is a well-rehearsed dance of routine tasks, a ballet of meetings, deadlines, and endless cups of coffee. The day's tasks weigh heavily on my shoulders, but I bear them with a resigned acceptance. My workplace is a bustling hive of activity, but I am an island amidst the chaos, my focus unwavering. As the day draws to a close, I find myself drained, the fatigue seeping into my bones. I long for the comfort of my home, my sanctuary from the world's demands. My journey home is a familiar one. The metro's rhythmic hum, a lullaby that lures you to a much-needed sleep. I surrender to the exhaustion, my body slumping against the cold window as my eyes flutter closed. My dreams are a mailish of the day's events, an abstract painting of my reality. But then, I awaken, my body jolting upright as a shiver of unease crawls up my spine. The metro's rhythmic hum echoed in the empty carriages, a chilling soundtrack to my growing panic. I am not at my usual stop. The familiar sights and sounds are replaced by an eerie silence, a spectral symphony that sends chills down my spine. The metro is empty, and I am alone. I blink, hoping to dispel this nightmare, but the reality remains unchanged. I am trapped in a chilling tableau, my heart pounding in my chest as I grapple with the sudden shift in my reality. Is not a dream, is my unexpected awakening. An unfamiliar platform loomed ahead, a spectral haven, forgotten by time and abandoned by life. I stepped off the train, my feet echoing in the silence, and a shiver rippled across my skin as the chill air welcomed me into the station's cold embrace. The platform, once teeming with life, now lay as quiet as a graveyard. The eerie silence hung heavy in the air, broken only by the occasional flicker of the overhead lights, their feeble glow casting long, creeping shadows that danced and twirled in the corners of my vision. As I ventured deeper into the station, the silence grew louder. It was a silence so profound that it seemed to reverberate off the cracked tiles and weathered walls. The once bustling ticket booth stood neglected, its glass smeared with the fingerprints of countless commuters who had passed by in a different era. The forgotten advertisements and torn posters whispered of a time when laughter and conversation filled the air, a stark contrast to the desolation that now reigned. The air in the station was thick with the smell of mildew and rust, a testament to the years of neglect. It was a scent that clung to the back of my throat and filled my nostrils with every breath, a constant reminder of the station's abandonment. The decay was palpable, the remnants of a bygone era etched into every crack and crevice, every piece of peeling paint, and every inch of the dust-laden floor. The chilling echoes of my own footsteps seemed to bounce off the walls, creating an eerie symphony that resonated throughout the empty station. The echoes were my only companions in this forgotten place, their haunting melody a stark reminder of my isolation. The cold air seeped through the cracks in the walls, whispering tales of a time when life echoed through these now empty corridors. Every step she took in the desolate labyrinth was accompanied by haunting echoes, as if the station itself was a silent observer to her intrusion. Her heart pounded in her chest, each beat resonating with the rhythm of her footfall, their combined cadences forming a chilling symphony of fear and uncertainty. As she ventured deeper into the station, her desperation grew. The eerie silence was only broken by the echo of her own footsteps, a stark reminder of her isolation. She reached for her phone, her fingers trembling with a mix of cold and dread. The screen lit up, casting an unnatural glow on her face, but the absence of a signal brought a new wave of panic. She was trapped in this spectral haven, cut off from the world, with the hollow echoes of the station as her only company. She continued to wander through the labyrinthine passages, the dim lights casting long, menacing shadows that seemed to stretch out and reach for her, as if the station itself was alive. The forgotten relics of a bygone era added an eerie sense of timelessness to the place. Faded advertisements and torn posters adorned the walls, and a neglected ticket booth stood as a silent testament to the station's past. With each step, the station seemed to silently observe her, its cold, unblinking gaze making her feel like an intruder in a place that time had forgotten. The echoes of the past whispered tales of forgotten commuters, their spectral gazes following her every move, their silent voices filling the air with stories that had long been buried in the dusty corners of the station. As she ventured further into the heart of the station, the haunting echoes seemed to grow louder, filling the silence with their spectral whispers. The shadows danced around her, as if they were eager to reveal the secrets that lay hidden in the heart of the labyrinth. She wasn't alone in this forsaken place, and the echoes of the past were eager to reveal the mysteries that had long been concealed. The walls seemed to close in around her, amplifying the echoes and the sense of dread that hung in the air. The station was alive with the echoes of the past, and she was a stranger in its midst, a living, breathing testament to the present in a place that time had forgotten. The spectral gazes of forgotten commuters watched her, their eyes following her every step as she ventured deeper into the heart of the abandoned labyrinth. As she moved, the station seemed to come alive with the faint echoes of its past. The walls, worn and weathered, were adorned with the relics of an era long past. Faded advertisements, their colors washed out and messages forgotten, clung to the walls. Torn posters, their edges frayed, whispered tales of events that never came to pass. A neglected ticket booth stood silently in the corner, its glass dusty and streaked, a silent testament to the countless journeys that had begun and ended here. The spectral gaze of the station was a penetrating one. The eyes of forgotten commuters seemed to bore into her, watching, waiting. Their phantom presences were etched into the very fabric of the station, their stories intertwined with the metal and concrete. It was as if the station had absorbed the energy of the countless souls who had once traversed its corridors, their spectral gazes now focused on this unexpected visitor. The shadows danced around her, playing tricks on her eyes, their movements creating a chilling ballet of light and darkness. The silence was broken only by the faint rustle of old newspapers, and the eerie creak of the station settling into its slumber. Her footsteps echoed, the sound bouncing off the walls, a solitary rhythm in the oppressive silence. The woman's heart pounded in her chest, a steady drumbeat matching the rhythm of her footsteps. The cold air clung to her skin, the chills seeping into her bones. She felt a shiver run down her spine, a primal instinct warning her of an unseen danger. Her breath came in ragged gasps, the air heavy with the weight of the unknown. As she ventured deeper into the labyrinth, the spectral gazes of the forgotten commuters seemed to intensify. The air grew colder, the shadows darker, and the silence more deafening. The station seemed to hold its breath, the spectral gazes of the forgotten commuters frozen in anticipation. With every step forward, the station held its breath in anticipation of her next move. A distorted sound from an old speaker broke the silence, its garbled message raising the hair on the back of her neck. The disembodied voice, muffled and distorted by years of disuse, echoed around the deserted station, sending a chill down her spine. It was an announcement, the words twisted and warped but unmistakable. The next stop was her destination. Her heart pounded in her chest as the reality of her situation set in. The metro, her only means of escape, was her only hope. Despite the bone-deep fear that held her captive, she found herself moving, her feet propelling her towards the waiting metro. The platform was a blur as she sprinted, the echo of her footsteps bouncing off the cold concrete walls. She threw herself onto the train, her breath ragged and uneven. The doors slid shut behind her, sealing her inside the dimly lit carriage. The metro lurched forward, its mechanical hum filling the silence as it began its journey away from the deserted station. The flickering lights of the station disappeared into the distance, leaving her in near darkness. As the metro rumbled along the tracks, she found herself trapped in a terrifying limbo. The journey felt longer than any she had ever taken, the minutes stretching into an eternity. The rhythmic hum of the metro was her only company, a constant reminder of her isolation. Every shadow, every flicker of light, every sudden jolt of the train sent her heart racing. She clung to the icy handrail, her knuckles white. The anticipation was unbearable, the fear of the unknown gnawing at her. She was a captive audience to her own fear, her mind conjuring up images of what awaited her at the next station. As the metro pulled into the bustling station, everything went back to normal, leaving her to wonder if she had just awakened from a nightmare or experienced a chilling brush with the supernatural.